Welcome to Voting Arena today. Welcome, guys. I have a guest in the house. The first time I heard his name, I was really shocked. I said, Dr. Mo, carrying dreads, be the MC of the occasion. So everybody was Dr. Mo, and he was quite very, prompt, not someone that has a stomach like mine, So I asked one guy, I said, I want to talk to someone. He said, Dr. Mo should be one person you should talk to. So I went on the hunt for Dr. Mo. Dr. Mo, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Actually, his name is Moses
Paul.
Very unique name, Moses Paul. What's the doctorate about? He's a doctor by academics. You're welcome, Dr. Mo.
Thank you, and it's so good to be here.
All right. And my unfriendly friend is always here with me. I'm putting him to size the size it needs to be. So today, you're welcome.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
I'm always a friendly friend to a lot of people.
Okay, a lot of things to talk about, Dr. Mo. A lot of things. I hope and I wish 1 hour will be enough for us to talk about. I know you're going for the AMAC chairmanship. I think AMAC should be one of the biggest and richest local government, so to speak, in that respect. We call it Area Council in Abuja here. But we've not seen a lot of presence of that local government feel in AMAC. All we hear in AMAC or in Abuja is the minister. What does AMAC do? Now, before I get on to what does AMAC do, I want you to give me a breakdown of yourself. Who is Dr. Mo?
Thank you. Like you rightly said, Dr. Mo is considered an activist, of course, a politician, a scholar, an academician, and a father, and that guy that also helps to negotiate with terrorists.
Really?
So, yeah, I mean, on 3 occasions, I've had to go into the woods to help people who were kidnapped. My last venture was between Edo and Kogi State. And so my dreads is not, don't mistaken it for hype, it's not for hype.
Okay.
Because it's very spiritual for me, because it saved my life, literally. I mean, and maybe in other occasions we can talk about it and people can understand, what it does. But in the woods where you are interfacing with these criminal bandits elements who have made our society ungovernable, who have brought a lot of death and pains to a lot of families and all of that, it's very tough, and it's also part of why we're here, and so it's an aspect of who I am, but I have a PhD in environmental resource planning.
Wow.
And I'm a geographer, and I've run for elections before. This is not the first time I'm vying for an office, and I've been in the civil society space. I'm a co-founder of Amamudondu with Charlie Boyd, Jedianju, and other people, so that people can reflect and go back.
Where you're coming from?
Yeah, and I led the longest protest in court in Nigeria's history, which is not shortly after the elections for over 23 days. So I've paid my own dues. I've been to the DSS a couple of times too, and all of that. I'm also the founder of Free Nigeria Foundation that has brought a lot of enlightenment and engagement with young people. And of course, I'm also the Secretary General of the Obedient Movement. So this is who Dr. Mo is. And
the cap is full and it's quite long, really. But if we look at you that way, we'll not see you that way.
Like they say, they come in same packages, right?
All right, so let's get down. 2 questions we have that we will treat one, then get to the other one. Now, there's been electoral reforms campaign, and it has been something that has been on the top burner for a while now. And now that electoral reforms, we believe that the reason why there was a short change in 2023 was because there was no electronic transmission of results. We believe if there were electronic transmission of results, that it's like you pay money into my account in First Bank, it appears in my UBA, PAM, I've seen a lot immediately. Technology has risen to that stage. Why can't our voting experience be that way? Looking in reflection to AMAC election that is coming up, we feel that these grounds should be a test run where we use it to say, oh, if it can happen on this scale, it can happen on this scale. Electronic reforms.
Yeah, I mean, it's very critical, and I think it's important that we're zeroing on AMAC. Many people don't understand, first of all, what AMAC even is. AMAC is Abuja Municipal Area Council. There are 6 councils in Abuja, but AMAC is almost half of it, because when you look at the 2,888 something polling units in Abuja, in the FCT, AMAC alone has 1,416.
Wow.
So it's
more than half.
You know, as a geographer, I know that you can take Buhari 3 times Buhari and put in AMAC.
Yeah.
That's how big AMAC is. When you look at the wards, there are 12 wards. You have Kapusa.
Okay.
You have Garki.
Okay.
You have Wuse.
Okay.
You have
Maitama.
City Center.
Okay.
Maitama is
part of
City
Wuse.
Center.
Okay. Okay.
You know.
Okay.
And then of course you talk about Nyanya.
Okay.
You have of course Karu, Orozo,
Okay.
Karshi.
Okay.
Then you have Jiwa.
Okay.
You have Gui.
Okay.
And then you have Gwagwa.
That's
Those are the
12.
12 wards.
Okay.
And they're all huge. They are big. You know, they're all in their
respect.
In their respect. So AMAC is not just a local council.
Yeah.
It is the microcosm of Nigeria. When you look at it in terms of its cosmopolitan nature, you know, you have all the tribes, Yoruba, Igbo, Idomati, Igala, they're all in AMAC.
Yeah.
You know, and the concentration is huge. As a matter of fact, the non-indigens in AMAC have overtaken in terms of data.
Yeah.
The indigens. The indigens are really like a minority right now in AMAC.
In AMAC.
That said, it's important to protect their heritage, their culture, their norms, and all of that. And it's important for somebody who understands that, you know. So I'm saying that to say that since we're focusing on AMAC, it's important to even understand, because a lot of people don't. And that's why I'm breaking it down for people to understand. This particular is the most important geographical space in Nigeria, AMAC. It's home to the Aso Villa.
That's the seat of power.
Seat of power. It's home to the National Assembly and home to over 100 embassies. It's the most important. Whatever you do in AMAC, the whole world is watching. That's how important AMAC is. And that's why we're saying that it's also important for, it's like, imagine the mayor of London or New York or DC.
Yes.
We must have, because I'm explaining this for people to understand. So why is it that there is zero local government presence? If you ask many people, who is the chairman of AMAC?
Nobody knows.
They don't even know. So you're talking federal, you're talking the president, you're talking the minister. I'm not running to be the minister of the FCT. I'm not even running to be the senator. We're talking about the most important job, the lighting, the infrastructure, the environment, the waste management, the revenue model. Nigeria is the most populous black nation on the face of the earth. On the face of the earth. Should Nigeria succeed as a world giant, it means that when you see a black man, you'll be resting on the shoulder of Nigeria. Let me break down what that means. If you see a white man walks into the studio now, you're not looking at a white man. You're either looking at a Chinese person or an American or an American. That's what you're going to be seeing, or a Japanese. When a black man walks into this anywhere in the world, do you know what you see? You see poverty. You see banditry. You see lack of local governance, because the image of AMAC, the image of Nigeria, is what every black person on the face of the earth is carrying. This is why it is important to talk about this local governance, and you see, to also help, because after all is said and done, it is about local governance. I've traveled over 20 countries around the world. When you go to Europe, for example, it is the local government that determines who becomes a citizen. Because it's a local government that knows security. It is a local government that understands, that knows what is going on. They know who comes in and who goes out.
And this local government has been neglected for a while.
It is zero. It is totally not present.
If Dr. Mo, you started by introducing yourself, and you did said you are interested in becoming the next henchman of AMAC. You have not told us under what platform you are running, but you said that you are the secretary of the obedient movement. And Obi had told us time without number that he still remains a Labour Party member. Are you saying you are contesting for the seat under the Labour Party, under the Labour Party?
Well, I think it's also a good question to clarify, because yes, I know that a lot of people are confused about what's going on.
Yes, as a secretary of the obedient movement,
yes.
And that is Obi in a quote and Obi is in Labour.
Yes.
So I don't know which of the
platforms. Yeah, and it's important to also correct that. Yes, Obi is in Labour,
yes,
but fully involved with the coalition.
Yes.
And the coalition is the African Democratic Congress Party, which is the ADC.
Yes.
That's the coalition party.
Yes.
So, and Obi is fully involved.
Yes.
You saw him during the inauguration.
Yes. And Obi has also told the world over and over that
yes,
obedient cut across all political
absolutely,
parties.
Because
so
it
will be interesting if you let us know under what platform. Is it the ADC or any of the political parties that obedient
are in,
or you are from the Labour Party? We want to know.
Incidentally, I've never been a card-carrying member of the Labour Party, even though I've been involved with its activity. My involvement with the Labour Party has to do with the persona of Mr. Peter Obi. That's why you will hear us, and I'm wearing the cap of the Secretary General of the Obedient Movement now as you're talking, because the Obedient Movement is not a political party. It's an energy. It's an essence that warehouses good governance, transparency, accountability. We have zero tolerance for some of the things we want to discuss right now. We're about electoral reform, zero tolerance for violence, for rigging, for intimidation. We are to hold leadership accountable. So yes, the obedient movement cuts across different political parties, but it warehouses its leader. It epitomizes the characterization of Mr. Peter Obi, the values and the virtues of what? Of integrity, of compassion, of competence, of consistency in the value that will uplift us as a people. This is what the obedient movement is about. But I'm running under the coalition party, under the ADC. That's the platform I'm going to be using to prosecute the election come February 21st, 2026.
Good to hear that.
Okay, that's clarification done. But I was quite enjoying the description you were giving about AMAC. So I'm going to go back there.
Okay.
Now, AMAC has not been seen in there, because you just brought my knowledge back to the fact that AMAC is a host of many nations in this AMAC. A host, I mean, you can't say we have the White House in Washington, D.C., but right, they have a host. I don't know if you understand.
Very much.
Aso Rock is a part of AMAC. That means AMAC is that important.
It's too important.
But we've not felt that importance of AMAC. I've been in Abuja for more than 20 years, but I've not felt that importance of AMAC. Why?
Because, you see, everything rises and falls on leadership. It's the ability to be able to have a leader that understands the status quo. AMAC is too important. If you ask, like we're saying, we don't even know who is the chairman of AMAC. So
no.
What's going on? This is in Nigeria, I might not get the data right, but AMAC, even in terms of revenue, is about the second or the third in terms of revenue generation. So you're talking about a local government that warehouses about $500 million monthly, and yet we don't even know what's happening with that. Its satellite towns are completely neglected. Go to Gwagwa, go to Jua, go to Gwarimpa and look at the waste management structure. Nothing is being attended to. And the reason why we're talking about the federal is because it is only the federal presence that we see with the roads and some of the construction. But the
day-to-day running,
the essence, the energy, the humanity of us as Nigerians, which should begin from AMAC is completely non-available. And I give you something that is very pathetic that I consider something that should never repeat itself and happen again. For over months. For over months in Abuja, in AMAC, our children were out of school.
Months.
For months.
We were aware, Dr. Mo. Let me take you on that. You know, you've spoken so much about AMAC and you've been so passionate in your speech on how AMAC had not been able to play its role in the scheme of things. Now that you are running for AMAC, what are your plans for AMAC if you get elected?
Our children will never be out of school. It is a taboo, like we say in Nigeria's parlance. It is a sin. It is criminality. For months, I went to primary school in Abuja. I was the head boy. When we hold interactive sessions in Cambridge or in Harvard, people have asked me, did you school here? From primary school to PhD was here. So I know that good can come out of the FCT. But to have, imagine that when I was in primary school, we were out of school. I'll probably be a terrorist like some of the people that are kidnapping people that I'm risking my life to go and bring out. Education is the #1 human capital development index. I was in Indonesia a few months ago. Indonesia has 0 out-of-school children. I met with the Minister of Education and I asked, how did you achieve this? Do you know that as I was speaking right now, we have in Nigeria, we have about 20 to 30 million out-of-school children? This is why Abuja is surrounded by insecurity. Because if you're not educated, how can you even understand how we can't move without education? And we have a local government that is ensuring that our children does not go to school. I would ensure Nigeria is signatory to what we call the Universal Basic Education.
Education, yeah.
I don't want to say make promises, but our children will go to school for free. Because the portal and the window and the accessibility of the funds is available.
Very well, Dr. Mo.
That's one.
Yeah, no, before you go,
okay.
you know, the image of AMAC, that's where I'm concerned. Because what in your analysis, your passion, you see that AMAC has lost its place in the scheme of things. AMAC as a host to hundreds of nations, embassies, and a host to the seat of power. The local governance had not, assert its authority properly. So the question is, how do you intend to do this if you get elected into office? Is that you will not be overshadowed by the FCT minister and the rest of them? How do you try? How do you intend to bring the true picture of AMAC to the world?
You see, the presidency, the federal government, is said to not be doing well because the support that it needs from the local government is not there. The president will love me. Whoever the minister is going to love me because the missing piece is what I'm going to be bringing to the table. I've been sitting down and talking to the UN rep, the British envoy, and all of them. They understand the narrative of what should be done in terms of education and health. I know the plugins that can be done. But when you have somebody who can't even sit before these people and talk, how can we unplug them? We live in the age of AI. We're talking about knowledge. We're talking about technology. We can unplug and unbundle all of this in AMAC. In AMAC, we should have hubs where young people can come in from Karshi to Wuse, from Orozo to Kabusa, where young people can enter and be able to access knowledge. And all of this can be provided. The local governance in terms of the local transportation, local infrastructure, education. There are places that if I take you to and you see how our children are sitting down, do you know that there are places within the AMAC where it's almost as if human beings are eating with animals? When you go to because there is zero local presence. The reason why we're talking about the minister and the president is because the local governance is completely absent. It's zero. It's like going to London and you're talking about the Queen of England and you're talking about the MPs. No, when you go to London, what you talk about is what?
Is the Queen.
Is the mayor of London.
Yeah, mayor of London, yeah.
That is the person that ensures that things work. But when that is absent, The reason why they're concentrating on the minister is because the local governance is completely absent. When I emerge as a local government chairman, the minister will be doing it, because who you'll be hearing is the local government, because we're talking about our locality. The minister is high profile. That's why you look at, when you come to the city center, our roads are gleaming, but you move away, and then you see children out of school, you see poverty. There are over 30 IDP camps in Abuja, in AMAC. Are you aware of that?
I only know maybe like 3 or 4.
So we are surrounded by things we don't even know. And when people live in darkness, you can never see the relevance, the importance. The reason why Nigeria is where it is because AMAC, that is the most important place, is being governed by people who do not even understand what it is, much less attend to it.
Okay, all right. So you started with some what Peter Obi will call the real critical infrastructures, education, health. These are obviously, I know we have one who say General Hospital somewhere in zone 3 or zone 4 thereabout. There's one in Asokoro, there's one in Gwarimpa, Kubwa. The one in Yanya is actually an eyesore. I went to visit somebody there one time. In fact, the roads to I don't know if it's been fixed now. Now, how do you look at these critical infrastructures, education, even them not even being on strike? The schools, in AMAC alone, they are in a deplorable state. I mean, deplorable, not good atmosphere for kids to learn. How are you going to upgrade this?
These are things that are very sacrosanct. It's actually very painful for me, for somebody who has been here for, nearly 40 years. I've been here. I've been around the world, but I've been here, and it's painful. Sometimes it's almost bringing me to tears, because there are things that shouldn't be at all. I don't even have to do too much. We're talking about the basics of things, to give to our children and our people. You are talking about the general hospitals. That's even for federal. Have you been to what you call the primary healthcare centers? Yeah. A few months ago, I went to the primary healthcare centers. I have the numbers are there. They are all over the place. You'll be shocked that some of the primary healthcare centers have been abandoned completely with bushes. The ones that have, there is one close to the airport, which I often visit and help to, to enhance some of the things they do there. They have only one nurse, catering to about, sometimes you go there, there are about several pregnant women. Even in the labor room, there is nothing, it's just bare floor. And I remember taking Mr. Peter Obi there. In fact, we fixed their roof and did some things. And there are over 200, 300 primary healthcare centers. When you are sick, when you get into emergency, the primary healthcare center is the immediate place you run to.
The first response.
It's the first response. That's where you go to. That is the job of the local government, and it's completely abandoned. That's my job. I'm not going to bother myself about what the federal should do. We're talking about the people. If somewhere like Indonesia, that is comparable to us, has achieved 98% health insurance scheme. Many people don't understand what that means, but what that means is that I don't think you have a health insurance scheme.
Does it exist in Nigeria?
Okay. So we are here on TV talking. Yeah. But what I told you now is that the Megoro on the road in Indonesia, the woman selling akara on the street, when she is sick, she will go and be treated for free because they've achieved 98% health insurance scheme. These are the things I'm talking about bringing to the table. Education for our people. Uplifting. And I can give you, I don't mind, in fact, for me, look at, to be able to empower our people, look at the entire primary school and secondary schools. I came back from London just a few weeks ago. The bus run alone, these are things to do to empower people. When you have buses that take these children to school for free and bring them back, when you drop them in school, you go and do what? These are huge revenue generation for the people. You are employing drivers, you are making money, it's a revolving fund, and also you are taking the children back to school and bringing them. These are things I'm going to do that does not even exist anywhere that I can think about. These are things that can easily be done. You don't even need to go to school and have a PhD to do them. This is what we can turn our AMAC to.
Okay, do you have a question?
Go ahead.
Okay, now let's talk about, we're talking about AMAC right now, and let's talk about our electoral reforms. We've been shouting electoral reforms. Now we want someone that the people votes for, and the person comes out as the people's choice. Now, one of the ways we think this can happen is through electoral reform. That's automatic transmission of election results. What do you have to say about electoral reforms?
I can sit here and speak about the fact that we can talk about electoral reform in terms of voter registration,
okay,
in terms of the process. We can talk about legal, enhancing the legal framework. We can talk about the training of the INEC staff. We can talk about the enhancing the civic engagement with the people. These are all reforms that will help, because if the process is transparent and credible, then we would have, that's the reform we're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. The major reform I want us to talk about is the transmission.
Yes.
Now, the registration is by the beavers.
Yes.
Am I correct?
Absolutely.
Now, the transmission of the result is by IREF.
It is from the beavers to the IREF.
To the IREFs.
Yes.
Now, what they told us was that during the 2023 election, there's going to be automatic transmission.
That's right.
But along the line, I think a day or the same day of the election, they said, no, we're going to manually collate and be feeding manually, which was not in one of the electoral reform. Of course, there was a little lacuna because of some senators that said that their areas don't have a network. But from what we know of the IREFs, when you upload, if there's no network, when you get to where the network is, it uploads. That's why some people like Upwala Oaks and this other guy, that's what they've been saying. Now they've gone around the country. Are you telling them that, or are we going to say that let them begin to try with this, will I call it off-cycle election conducted by INEC? For example, there's one coming up in Osun State. There's one coming up in Ekiti State. There's the
Anambra State.
Exactly. Should we try this model so that when people vote for people, we will see that those people come to power?
You know, that's what I'm talking about. That the things you're talking about is what, and we have a couple of people. I was one of the first people to hold events on electoral reform, and I was able to bring senators and people. There's a Labour Party House of Rep member by the name Honorable Ben Atena, whose bill went through even the first reading regarding electoral reform. I think he's doing a fantastic job. We have a couple of people, you know, that are trying to do that. Of course, Randy Peters and a few people are also giving voices to that. You know, I can talk about that. Punishments, that's why I talk about the legal. When people rig, when people unplug IRF, when people do what they're not supposed to do, what are the stringent legal reform that we're putting? Because if you punish people who do wrong, then we can begin to get somewhere, you know, with our electoral reform. You know, when you talk about technology, I mean, come on. We live in the age of AI, for goodness sake. Where if I need to send money to you, I can just send money to you. If I need to talk to my daughter, I just call. This is the age we're living in. So why are we? I will tell you that I can sit here and give you a perfect lecture from 5 pointers on what we need to do, from technology to legal framework, to enhancement, to registration. I can do all of that. But guess what? If we don't have people reform, the IRF that was unplugged, it is a human being that went there and unplugged it. So if you do all the reform you want to do, and we don't have people reform, where are we going to at the end of the day? It is in Abuja here that there are street lights everywhere, but people break it. It is not the absence. I need the viewers to get me right.
Yes.
Nigeria has constitution. UK does not have a codified constitution, but things are working.
Yes.
America has what? Constitution. But they say they have the presidential system of governance. Dubai and UAE is a monarchical system of government. You can describe China as a one-party state, but this is the point I'm making. Dubai is working. China is working.
Yeah.
UK is working. America is working. So it is, the question is not about enhancement. While I totally agree that we need to continue to enhance, and one of the best things that happened during the Buhari's regime is signing to law the electronic transfer of results.
But it's not being followed.
So this is why I'm saying that if we don't have people reform, we live in a country where people are being given position, ministerial position, board members, because they snatch, they grab, and they run away with things. You go and off IREF, they give you. So is it, between me and you, is it about electoral reform?
Dr. Mo, that brings me to where we are going. You just said it all. Yesterday or 2 days ago, former CBN governor and President Emir of Kano also told the same lie you are doing, that a situation where thieves are being rewarded with ministerial appointment and other political appointment will not take us anywhere. That our value system need to be regenerated, that we need to revalue ourselves, that we have lost it, that today what matters to Nigerians is material wealth. But that people who are going to office, they don't have a name they come with, and they don't intend to leave any name behind, which is legacy. He said legacy is the most prized currency. But the present day value we have is the numbers of houses you have and the billions of naira you account, and it shouldn't be so. That's being said, are you not worried? Same that yesterday, the former majority leader of the House, Egyptians of the APC, have said that they are waging war against political party to ensure that no other platform exists in 2027, and that it doesn't see it as a war against democracy. Don't you think if the institution of democracy, such as political party, are destroyed by the ruling party, is that not by extension destroying democracy?
It is so pathetic. It's almost unbelievable that we are even having these kinds of conversation. But much more than that, that leaders of nations will even make this kind of statement. I mean, you hear things where sitting governors will say that if you come to my state without this, we would ensure you get insecurity or you cannot enter. I mean, states where 200 people, not animals, over 200 human beings within 24 hours are wiped out. And yet people make rhetorics of, I don't know how and why we got to this place, but I can tell you that we have been becoming what we have been becoming. And if we're not holding this honest conversation, because we're not going to run away and leave Nigeria for, vagabonds and hooligans and terrorists and bandits. This is the only home we can call ours. This is the only place we can, if God wanted us to be, Americans, we will not be born here, we will not be here. When I travel around the world and I look at the environmental conquering, when I look at how people have enhanced their cities, I know that it is only us that can do this. And just like the emir of Kano, Lamido Sanusi, it's a call of conscience, because nations can, I can't remember who said it now, it's a famous author. He said, nations can be destroyed by anything, but if a nation is destroyed by her moral code, it's going to be very difficult for that
to bring it back.
You can fall, you can be poor today, through war, things can happen. But if the morality of the nation is broken, then it becomes very crazy. I mean, Nigeria is home. We are the most religious people, which is a big value. But what I know is that credible people, righteous people, moral people are keeping quiet. I won't tell you that the institutions of governance, and I can tell you because we also have intels, there are people in INEC, there are police people who cry out. When we go out to protest, I see police people crying. I grew up in the barracks, so I understand that. we are not completely out of hope. Because when you hear this kind of rhetorics from leaders, you know what they're trying to do? They're trying to intimidate, they continue to rig, and they want to sell fear into us. It's just like when you go to a polling booth, 100 people are standing, and then 3 people just come with a bus and they bring sticks. Because the righteous people haven't told themselves that we need to stand, how can 3 people come and dislodge you? The number of people making this noise and destroying our country, how many are they? As compared to the number of us, we are 230 million strong, for goodness sake. It is because people like you and I are not saying what we should say. When people say that, we clamp down on them, because you can be a president, you can be a governor, you can be a chairman, but you can be the enemy of the country. Nigeria is not a condemned nation. We still have a constitution. If a president or a minister is working against the constitution, you have every God-given right to stand up and ensure. So any governor that speaks that, any minister, that person that makes that statement is an enemy of the country, because it's against the constitution of Nigeria. Those are the people that want to destroy us. And we must rise up, like the VDMs, like so many other people, like the Charlie Boy, like social critics. We must wake up. The church and the mosque must rise up and say enough of that. We have to stop them, whether you're a president or not, whether you're a governor, regardless of who you are. Nigerians, because the only hope left for us right now are Nigerians, and they need to know that people power is the most important power.
So, Dr. Mo, are you worried that every known political party that seems to be viable opposition is having crisis at this point?
I'm very worried, and I know that that is an agenda by the ruling party of the day. They've sent different people, paid agents. And if you look at the social media and you look at, some people have even said yes. There are videos of people even claiming and saying that this is what we have been sent to do. I'm very worried, because again, the value of us as human beings and democratic ideals is the power of opposition. Imagine that I'm running and nobody's running against me. The opposition is what helps us to what? To be accountable. So when you remove accountability, when you remove transparency, when you remove the ideals that helps us to be able to be people, to have governance, of course I'm worried, because this is the only government that we have. This is the only place that we have. I'm really concerned and worried, and that's why for me it's appealing and speaking to the conscience of the people. I know that even fathers that are bad don't want people to be bad to their children.
Yeah.
So even those people that are bad, inside their heart, they want things to work well, because if we are overrun by criminals who have no country. So I'm worried. I'm worried that PDP is not working. I'm worried that Labour Party is not working. I'm worried that, there are problems. We want healthy, because even the APC you're talking about, we have good people in APC. We have good people in Labour Party. We have good people everywhere. It's just that the good people are not doing enough.
Are silent.
That's where the issue is.
Now, I want to, first of all, I want to go into Labour Party. No, not Labour Party. The Obedient Movement a little bit. You are the Secretary General of the Obedient Movement. What is about Obedient Movement? Tell us. Because right now, we've seen PO not holding any party down as it is. We hear PDP is trying to woo him in. ADC is there. Still say, I'm still a member of Labour Party. So where is Obedient Movement going?
Yeah, I mean, it's very clear. And Mr. Peter Obi, like you rightly said, is like the bride of all the political parties. He says one thing: when you are good, everybody looks for you. Even your enemies are at peace with you when you are good. I just hope the APC will not start calling for him to come and become the party.
No, when people that started initially, I think their spokesperson or
no, to come and join them, not to come and be their candidate.
They actually want him. He says one thing: Mr. Peter Obi is the best thing that has happened to Nigeria. This is why they are looking for him. I mean, otherwise, have you ever seen during his tenure as governor, he didn't take any loan. He left billions of dollars and naira. And guess what? The then Inspector General of Police gave him a pass Not him, the then inspection, they said during his reign, Anambra was about the safest in Nigeria. The Gate Foundation also said that, and the MDG, you know, that's the Millennium Development Goal,
yeah.
You know, data showed that he was the #1 governor who was able to attend and implement. These are criteria that are global. These are impeccable criteria. And like he said, he does not get any subvention. And during his tenure, no contractor's money was held. Those who have their certificates, who are done their work. So Mr. P2B has the most impeccable credentials for leadership when it comes to, I mean, you know, governance. And this is why it's being caught by all the political parties. That said, it is important, you know, that we also understand that where we are, I know that Nigerians are not politically savvy, except for the 2022-2023, where you have a lot of young people and people who were never concerned about governance now beginning to take part, you know, and being concerned. We still
but it's even more now.
Yeah, it's growing. Now, but wait, let me tell you, when you look at the data, it shows that Nigerians are not politically conscious. As of 2023-2022, we have about 94 million registered voters. But when you combine the vote of Peter Obi, Atiku, and Bola Ahmed Tinubu, it's still less than 30%.
Of people that voted.
By UN standard, that election something should happen to it. I was in Indonesia, and when I chatted with the INEC chairman, they have 204 million registered voters. In the last election, it's 81% participation. So they had more than 150 million people came out. But here, I mean, the president became president by 8 million people. That is less than 10% of the registered voters. And Nigeria is over 200 million people with about 100 million registered voters, and yet only 10%, which means that by data, he is not Nigeria's president because he is not a representation of the Nigeria. Do you understand what I'm saying?
So why is the voting apathy?
That brings us to the core of why we're here.
Just before you go into the core why we're here, you know, still talking about the obedient movement.
Oh, yes.
And Obi proper.
Yes, the obedient movement.
No, I'm coming. I've not asked my question. Now, you have seen your high moment and your low moment from the 2023 presidential elections. One of your low moments is that the Obi and obedient movement could not penetrate the north that much. And the APC had come to boast that Obi cannot penetrate the north, that Tinubu has structure, that's the city government, controlling the north. So, what it means that they are very comfortable. What have you got to say about that?
First of all, that's a false narrative because Peter Obi's highest vote, even in terms of polling unit, came from Southern Kaduna. Is Southern Kaduna in the south? I know that in Plateau it was overwhelming. In Benue, is Benue in the south? Okay, why is it that when it is comfortable, when we say north?
Are you saying that Obi had a good outing in the north as it is today, or he's making enough inroad into the north?
I mean,
yes.
You know, Nigeria is one country that overall, the APC 8 million. Where did they do well? I mean, but that's not the narrative.
That's not the narrative.
Yes.
I would like to speak on Obi, whatever it is in the north. What is
Obi
he doing about the north?
He's so loved in the north. I've followed him to more than 10 states in the north, where he has gone to do empowerment. And if you go to the north, and I've done some of the viral videos too, go to some of the places in the north and speak ill of Obi and see what will happen to you. Forget about some of the narrative that has been there. From the mosque to the church to everywhere in the north, we have been to schools that he is building, boreholes and in intervention that is given. As we are speaking today is in Bauchi. Obi in the north. I've been with him everywhere. And I can tell you that, you see, so Nigeria is a place where the elite consensus sell a narrative. Like when those in the south think about the north, when they think about the north, they just think about Muslim north or Hausa Fulani north. There are close to 400 languages in the north. There are over 200 ethnicities in the north. But when we speak about the North, we speak about the North as though it's just one monolithic North. And some of the highest Christian crusade in Nigeria took place in the North with Red Bonky. We need to disabuse, because if we don't do that, it's almost like what we have in the South, where you think of the South as what? As Christian South. No, there are a huge number of Muslims in the South. Adamawa State alone has over close to 100 languages. Same thing with Taraba. You see, when we are not educated, Nigerians are some of the people who don't even understand Nigeria. And that's why the people who want to kill Nigeria are selling those things. They tell you that no, Igbo people are not known in the North. Or not, they are no, don't let them hear this. Because we need to ensure that this strategy that they are using, we have to break it. I'm giving you data. Do you know that Taraba has about 100 languages?
I didn't know that.
Good. That Adama has about 100 languages. And we live in the age of AI. Google what I'm saying. Go to your AI and check it. They lie to you and tell you that when you go to the North, it's just Muslims. Or you go to the South, it's all. These are some of the things we need to destroy, because the enemies of Nigeria does not want us to succeed. So they tell you a P2B is not acceptable. When the Muslim cleric came out to say he was fighting another Muslim cleric who welcomed Mr. Peter Obi, the video that went viral in a few weeks, the young people, the elite don't even control. I was born in Kaduna. I moved into Abuja in 1988. So I understand the North. I served in Kano. I worked in Maiduguri. There is no state capital in Nigeria I've not been. And I've been around Africa. I can tell you about the world, I can tell you about Africa, and I can tell you about Nigeria. So it's Balgadash. That's false narrative being paraded. This is why we need to hold these kinds of conversation. Because with knowledge and enlightenment, people will be liberated. Obi is loved in the North. And I can tell you it is because he was rigged out in the North. Just the same way. People just who rig River State have come out to tell us that they rigged it.
So that's my question. So what are the obedient doing about not being rigged at come 2027?
That's why we are asking about the transmission of results.
Of results. These are the questions.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because the truth remains that everybody has come to ascertain that, or allude to the fact that Obi won the 2023 general election. But what the obedient and obedient lack is,
they couldn't monitor their votes.
Who could have ensured that their result or their vote counts were not there. What effort is the obedient and Obi making about to ensure that the vote that will be cast for Obi in 2027 will be counted and be announced?
Okay. This is very important, and that's another big lie that has been sold. To say that while I agree that we're working, and I can tell you some of the things we're doing, even in obedient movement, to ensure that, because excellence is about the ability to keep improving in whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
So we'll keep improving.
Yeah.
But it's a big lie that we didn't protect our vote. It's a big lie that all the things that they're saying. We have a sitting senator in Abuja. We have a sitting House of Rep member that we voted and protected, and we put them there. There are about 40 people in both the green and red chamber that we protected and put them there. So tell me that we did not protect our vote. What I'm saying, I'm not telling you that we're perfect, but it's a lie that is being sold that the obedient didn't protect their vote. They did. What is the issue that we need to tend to? Of course, we saw the narrative. Obedience were what? They were burnt in Kano. They were shot in River State. In Lagos State, they were beaten out of polling booths because some said, if you are not voting for this party, get out of this place. We saw the brutalization, punched in their eyes and all over the place, because they went to hospital and came back. And because obedience are the most law-abiding people, they are the most democratically sane people that you can find, just like Mr. Peter Obi. Good people, perfect people who want to ensure that Nigeria is not burnt down. They are taking them for granted. This is what is going on. And this is why it is the obedient they are clamoring for what? For electoral reform and all of that. There are things that I can tell you that once you push people to the wall,
they're going to fight back.
They're going to fight back. Don't get Nigerians to that place.
Now, is it not worrisome for the obedient movement that at the end of the day, Obi may not have a party to context it?
No, maybe at the end of the day, Obi will have too many, but my fear is that you know, as a beautiful girl, you might end up having too many people and to choose from. But I can tell you,
based on what is happening.
No. You see, that's why I said that we're not politically savvy. You know, Nigerians, you, as a politician, you know, I've seen people who have told me, no, you're not going to win. No, you're not going to do. Oh, the politics is about timing. There are discussions that we cannot have now. And don't forget that Nigeria is going through a very beautiful phase. It's called an evolution. That, you know, because we are not politically savvy, Nigerians want us to discuss what we'll discuss in 2 months. Now, discuss it now. And it's not going to happen. In fact, Nigerians want to know who will be president in 2027. When you go, that's what everyone is talking about.
We are still like 2 years off.
Unfortunately, you need to understand that what is happening now is perfect. The realignment, the alignment, the evolution, the shifting, the consultation. I can't come here and campaign now. I told you that, PK, from the 24th of September, when I come to campaign, you will see a different energy. We're talking about electoral reform, we're talking about AMAC, we're talking about Nigeria, we're talking about our civic culture. That's what we're discussing here. This is not campaign. When campaign begins, you will know. But Nigerians want Dr. Mo to campaign. Now, do you understand? Can you see what I'm saying? What is happening with the coalition? What is happening in the Labour Party? What is happening with different parties? Is what should be happening right now. Nigerians have to develop thick skin. You know, the basketballs and all that. It's beautiful. In the next few months, in the next few weeks, things will begin to change. Oh no, Obi already has a party that is going to run. It's just his decision to make. So fear not if you are listening to me. No, he's going to be there. Okay,
all right. So let's come back to AMAC and see. We talked about a wide representation of AMAC, a multi-ethnic and multicultural arrangement as a result of it being the host city for, or the host area for the cosmopolitan area. How have you tried to factor in the interest of every other person within this AMAC, because they're the one that decides election?
Oh yeah, I mean that makes it actually a lot easier. I, as a person, I don't want to be, you know, the value of Nigeria. If you're a true Nigerian, one of the things that come with you as a value is the fact that you understand Christianity as you understand Islam. You understand Igbo, Tiv, Urobo, Ishekiri, Birom. That's the value. Nigeria is multi-ethnic.
You have not called my own, no?
Edo. Edo. It was called Edo. It's the beauty of Nigeria.
Yeah.
So for me as a Nigerian, tell you what, I can't even live where it is only Muslim or only Christian. I don't want the beauty that I see. I love Islam and I love Christianity and I love the pagan religion. For me, it's...
No, there is not pagan religion. So it's African religion.
African religion.
That's his religion.
So beautiful, you see that. So it is the beauty of Nigeria. And let me tell you something. One of the things we're going to do, because those things have not been explored yet, but AMAC is a place where we can explore that. Our diversity is a multi-billion-dollar business. I'm not going to give you the expo here. You know, but I'll give you one. You see, the fact that Nigeria is among the only other country in the world that when you call 10 Muslim or Islamic countries in the world, Nigeria is there. When you call 10 Christian countries in the world, Nigeria is there. Hey! You don't even know what that means. It means that we can collect money from the Christian nation, collect money from the Muslim. It's the uniqueness of Nigeria. But if you don't have a visionary leader that understands, you know, I see some governors and some leaders who say the problem of Nigeria is the youth. There are so plenty to, because this energy cannot be created or destroyed. It can only be converted from one form to another.
You need to harness it.
To see poverty parading the corridors of power in AMAC is preposterous. To have injustice walking on our two legs is unacceptable. To have children out of school is a taboo. Because the energy of our youth is too much money, is too much power. It is the ability to be able to convert it. It's too... I'm not even talking about the natural resources. Remember I told you, I'm a PhD in environmental resource planning. I'm a geographer. Abuja is city of gold.
There's one thing you have not, talked about. You have spoken about education, health, and the rest of them. The people in Abuja, a lot of people in Abuja here, they don't have a roof over their head.
Housing.
And we have a lot of empty houses in Abuja.
Let me even tell you,
when you become an AMAC
you've even
chairman,
taught something that is
what will you do about that?
It's a pain in my heart. In Libya during Muammar Gaddafi, 18 and 21-year-old, they all own their 2 or 3 bedroom apartment. It's simple housing model. I mean, we are within the, what you call, is this part of, where are we right now? I think we're between, look at where we are, whether you're talking about Gwarimpa or Kabusa, you have one person that owns 10,000 housing units. Close to where I'm living, I've been there for maybe 15 years. There's an entire estate that has been there for the last 15 years. Nobody lives inside. Because these are money laundering. Meanwhile, you have graduates, you have young people who have no
lives in their vehicle.
What does it cost?
Under the bridge.
This is the point I'm making. I have friends and many people even abroad, not just here, who are willing to come and do cost-effective housing unit for people. But you have people where the elites have monopolized this thing. You are building 4 or 5 bedrooms. Who is going to live inside? This is what we're talking. It's unacceptable.
Dr. Mo, 1 hour has gone by, boom, just like that. We will definitely going to have you again and again, especially when the electionary campaign starts. And being young, also having dynamic vision for Nigeria, it makes it more interesting that you have to always come on voting arena. And we want youth that will take over this country and propel it to the next level, where Nigeria will be a darling nation for the whole world to see. It's been a wonderful time having you.
Thank you, same here.
Thank you very much. And to my beautiful brother and friend, thank you for coming. All right, it's been a beautiful time today. Thank you, viewers. God bless you.